Year of the Mecha continues to show that you can find wonderful mecha games on any platform you look for, such as the original Xbox. No, we are not playing Mecha Salt today. Fuck off.
But come on, it's got the best Korn songs on the soundtrack for some reason.
That was the sequel, actually. I think it was both Korn and Papa Roach, actually.
Yeah, Getting Away with Murder was the other one that was on it.
Yeah.
I remember.
It was a Korn song that was like the credits. I think it was technically about domestic abuse or something. I don't know. The 2000s were a weird time.
It was a thing that occurred.
Indeed. You ready for a unique and interesting mecha games by your friends at Genki?
Well, the fact that this is a stream that you have me on kind of suggests that it's going to be a bit of an oddball. So yes.
Yeah. Yeah, by Genki, the creators of such fine franchises as Shutoku Battle, otherwise known to people back on the Dreamcast as Tokyo Extreme Racer. Also Kengo, which was like their spiritual successor to like Bushido Blade style games that never got localized.
Yeah,
except
say that
one,
was the
I think, on the 360, and it got critically panned for whatever reason.
Okay, I am getting real Tetsuo the Iron Man vibes from this, and I don't know why.
Someone found the footage for Tetsuo the Iron Man and realized that like the grayscale was added after.
Yeah. Okay, what if instead of the giant robot phallus, we just make a really weird looking stompy robot, kind of out the middle, man?
Something like that, yeah.
Looks kind of like a frog with guns.
Little bit. Mecha in this game with like possibly one of the goofiest like names for them that I've ever heard. Like, you know, like every mecha series has to refer to like their robots by a specific type of name, you know, like your mobile suits, like
or
ATs,
full dress, yeah,
LFOs. If we want to pull something from Eureka 7, but these are Scoobis. Yes, get your jokes out now.
Dinkies. Also, kind of oddly reminds me a bit of Phantom Dust, and I'm not sure if that's just because it's on the the original Xbox,
and the fact that it has the word Phantom in the title.
Yeah. Just the. I think the ruined landscape and the way that they were just jumping around effortlessly just makes me think about that for some reason.
Yeah, it's I mean, like, this is definitely like in the small company of games that could be like categorized as Japanese games made for a platform that had like no hold or popularity in Japan.
Yeah, they had a celebration when they finally sold triple digits.
Yeah. And you can tell this is early enough. It came out early enough in the original Xbox life that the controller diagram they have is the Duke.
Always bet on Duke.
We're not playing with the Duke though. I got like a trusty S controller because it is infinitely more comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like that's a look at like the controls we're using. The analog sticks do get used. You know, don't be confused just because there's like only like remapping the buttons and the triggers. They do get used, but do not assume that this is going to control like the like dual analog shooters of the day. It is still a mecha game. They're still designing this first around the idea of it's like a vehicle.
Tank controls the order of the day.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think of it less like tank controls and just more like it's more like just straight up driving. You kind of see how it is. This stylish video basically giving you like a very abstract representation of what the background for this game is, which is Tokyo, the old capital, got wrecked by a fucking devastating earthquake that everyone moved out.
Very Persona-esque. I would not be surprised if something about this stuck in the UI designer's brain for 5 and the 3 remake coming up.
Yeah, but with the old capital pretty much evacuated and everyone living elsewhere, young punks have taken to hanging out within the ruins, and instead of it turning into like a Violence Jack scenario where just like the most depraved of humanity festers, it's like, hey, what if we had like an underground robot arena sport going on? And I specify young Japanese pucks because you can see with like this style, like I think at the least if you want to like pull a comparison to a game that would have been like out in contemporary with this, like in the early 2000s, like 2002, Jet Set Radio would come to mind.
Oh yeah, that's the obvious one that my mind immediately went to.
Yeah, like a Jet Set Radio inspired, like Quake 3 Arena, but with mechs.
Yeah. Also a bit of Serial Experiments Lane.
Yeah, a bit of that. Like, the game is not lacking when it comes to style, which I think is, like, the gameplay and, like, the core loop that you go through is fun, but I think, especially when we start talking about, like, the one sequel this game did get, I think it's, like, this game still sticks out in my mind more because, like, it would not be as endearing to play if it did not have all of, like, this visual styling, aesthetic, presentation that we're being presented with right here.
Also, my comment about the
What the hell? Oh. Briefly lost connection to Discord there for a moment.
Yeah.
You still there?
Yep, still here.
Okay. Okay, that was good, because, like, I saw the Discord icon, like, on the client just spinning. That I was like, oh god, did I lose internet? No, it's just Discord. It had a hiccup.
Still here, just don't have the video.
Oh, okay, I'll share that again. But yeah, you were saying about like, Serial Experiments Lane.
Yeah, I was going to say the comment seems appropriate and oddly apt, given that we're in Club Wired.
Yeah,
definitely. Wired was the name for the internet in that series.
And we're talking to a cat, or rather, an AI that is using a visual representation of a cat to present itself.
Well, A, that's nothing unusual. I talk to cats every day, and B, that just means that's the best AI that's ever existed.
Yep, the cat chip.
I want cat chips.
Cat chips.
Also,
that wasn't the best. That wasn't the best Moltar impression I could have gone for.
No, I've got the sound on low, so I'm only getting like the very high peaks of the music, and it took me a second to realize it was the music, and it's not every time you're scrolling the text, it's meowing like a cat.
Oh yeah.
Which I am actually disappointed for.
Shading on like these characters that we meet, like these actual human characters, so, like all it's reminiscent of games that came out after this, obviously, but like just makes me think of like Killer 7 and like the type of cell shading that Suda had landed on for a lot of his early 3D games at the time.
Yeah, the very harsh shadows. All it needs is for the blacks to be like full black, and she would fit in perfectly.
Yeah, because it's like reminds me of Killer 7, reminds me of that Blood Plus or whatever it is. It was like an anime tie-in game that also used the exact same cell shading. And also, in a weird way, like their first foray at like a 3D kind of hack and slash before they made No More Heroes.
Yeah,
Blood little Plus history lesson there.
Which I've been meaning to try simply because apparently it's fully playable even in Japanese. But I never really watched the show because it wasn't particularly interesting to me.
Yeah.
And it's a side story rather than an adaptation, so if you don't know half the cast, then most of it's going to go over your head.
Your thermal entropy is increasing. That's certainly a phrase.
Your thermal entropy is increasing, so take off all your clothes. Oop, stream's gone again.
Oh, shit.
Discord is not playing nice tonight.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. I mean, like, the internet and stream on my end is not getting interrupted, so at least that's a plus. But yeah, well, then again, it's like Discord's been doing other kinds of weird, fucked up things ever since I got the got like went through the whole like update profile because they're moving away from the whole number system.
Yeah, I haven't got that yet.
Yeah, I guess I'm not surprised. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually gonna speed up through this a lot faster because it is a lot of text kind of to go through as they're kind of explaining the whole like name character creation process. That's a hell of a nickname to start with, Mr. USA. But no,
is always been Phantom Dust, where the rather than entering a name, you get given a name by the leader of the tribe. And eventually, if you keep saying no, he says, fine, then your name is Nanashi. Which literally means nameless.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like, okay, you want to be Mr. Cool and Mysterious? Fine, you have no name.
So the English equivalent to that would just be John Smith.
And basically. Your name is Jim Doe.
Yeah. So we could definitely like choose to select kind of all these different topics to have Pepper explain to us. But I think I could do like a fine enough job explaining this as we get into actual gameplay. As we get into the sport of rumbling. That's what this whole robot deathmatch activity is referred to. I do like as well just the like a part of this game's charm is just how it's like it has like this full like soundtrack, a different variety of like made up music that's like specifically like music that was made to be like this is what artists in this universe would have like produced, and everyone just listens to this in their free time.
It's all just a weird combination of pop punk and electronica.
Yeah,
so...
there's even an artist who's like who's literally like a virtual idol. Like it's basically like a proto Hatsune Miku. Oh yeah, Salsa's not the only like animal-based AI. Basically, all these AI chips are like based off of like certain animals, as far as like their portrait, and kind of informs their personality as well. So we got
that leopard is unimpressed.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, whatever. It's such a weird setup that this game has going on, like, for its whole world. Which I might as well actually kind of, like, lead into, I guess, like I alluded to, the other game, like the Soul sequel that this game technically got. That might be familiar to some others if, like, they didn't have the Xbox to, like, play this game, but they had a PS2. It's a little untitled that was called Steel Lancer Arena International. Oh, slay. Mm-hmm.
Which I feel needed to have the subtitle Yas Queen.
That would have been ahead of its time if it managed to do that. But like, I guess the reason to bring that up is to kind of highlight again just what I find like most interesting, and like what half of the appeal of Phantom Crash is. One half of it is like the gameplay style of like controlling the Scoobis and like using them in battle, and the other is just like this presentation, like how the characters look, the AI chips, like the music is all there, because it has like this very clear like underground feel to it. I mean, like it's a sport that like punks that are just hanging out in the ruins of the old Japanese capital like mess around with in their free time, whereas Slay went for like, it was basically a sequel that was set a few decades in the future, where this sport started to catch on all around the world, but also became safer and more professional as a result. So instead of these mecha being piloted, they became like remote controlled, and like it's now like a popular international sport.
I never played it, but the impression I got with it was that it became a lot more like Wipeout. The
Yeah.
the futuristic racing games in the PlayStation.
It's definitely like a very different feel. It's like when it comes to visuals, like when it comes to like the gameplay, like I've looked up like the footage to compare it to, and it's like it still controls similarly to like what you get in this game. It's just, yeah, it's basically a difference of like, which do you want? Do you want like that punk underground type of vibe to everything, or do you want like the next big like futuristic sport, as it were?
Yeah. It oddly reminds me of basketball, where it starts off as just a bunch of guys hanging out in their backyard, and then turns into a like full national sport.
Oh my god. So we could go to all these different stores like as like the first thing to use like our 200k new yen to buy a starting Scooby, as it were.
Does the rust get cleaned off after we buy it, or does that come as standard?
I think that's just like the stock paint job. We can obviously like do custom paints as well, but we got, you know, we got brands for like American Star, Kojima, Venturo.
Enjoy your new mech. It looks like crap.
I think actually when I did like a test run of this game like months ago, like I did go with like a Venturo. There is also these other stuff, like you could go to like this shop for like getting extra like modules here if you want to get into actual rumbling, but we need a Scooby first. This is if you want to do tune-up and to buy music. So these three, we gotta decide which of these to buy from, and I think I'm gonna go with the Photon 810.
It just looks so weird and gangly.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It looks like one of the pit droids from the Star Wars prequels, with the butt end of a Tachikoma sticking in its back.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so... Yeah, what would be a good name for this? I mean, I'd already used, like, the first part of my name as, like, the alias, and it's like, I don't want to use that again just for this little AI chip. Nah, that's too juvenile. I know we're goons, but that's also, like, several years too old for this.
We're goons, but we don't want to advertise the fact, goddammit.
We're goons, but we're chilled about the fact. None of us ever bought into low tax. We just got accounts for that site for our own reasons.
Still love one of the best things that anyone ever said about it after he died was the site managed to endure and create new content despite his best efforts.
Yeah, that is so true.
I was like, I don't know whether that counts as too soon or too real.
I think the other one I remember hearing about was just because of like the far-reaching influence of Something Awful and people that had split off from it for one reason or another. Where it was like just the news of him dying was like, it was like, I think someone described it as the equivalent of like if like some guy that you knew from a church you were forced to go to with your parents real young had died, even though you had long since like split off from ever associating with like Christianity. You still feel something.
See, for me, it was like hearing that like some infamous serial killer had died. You're like, oh, that's interesting.
We say this as we got news this morning that Ted Kaczynski has passed away.
Yep. First thing I heard...
Satan finally finished preparing that forced fuck shack for him in hell.
Literally the first thing I thought when I saw that news, because it's literally like 2 hours ago as we're recording this.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought was, someone's going to be moving into that forest fuck shack.
No, like the joke for me was like, no, Satan prepared a special one for him, like in the bowels of hell.
And that's why this video is never getting monetized.
Or any of the others.
Just anything I've ever been in, basically.
I'd say I'm partly to blame as well. Whatever.
Oh, right, Siba, not Shiba. I was thinking, like, is this getting early on the Doge memes?
Nah, I mean, like that one's a dog, but like it's not a Shiba Inu. It's definitely one of those. I forget the name of like the breed, the one that just has like that distinctly long snout.
Borzoi, I think it is.
Borzoi, that's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
I just saw that and I was like, wow, such mech, so rumble.
Mm-hmm. Just all the text prompts like overlapping as all the AI just say their greetings.
It's like, hey, why the long face?
He's like,
why do you keep bringing me in? Why do you keep bringing me in for the videos with the games that feature the scary yanderes?
I swear it's not intended. I swear it's not.
Is this just pure coincidence, or is this how you view me? And well, my anyway.
In Everland, everyone can stay as a child forever. I think you're missing a letter from that.
Also, super creepy.
You're 26, though.
Run.
Yeah, you're telling Pepper to run because this kid has sass and he is not going to put up with her bullshit.
Someone's going to wind up locked in a closet with duct tape over their mouth. At this point, I don't know who.
Yeah. Just all these characters. I mean, like if we took the time to actually, like, just focus on every bit of the dialogue, we would not get to any of the actual gameplay itself. But we're gonna get there soon. Like, we're getting into the training just to kind of show off, have the game give us, like, a proper demonstration of, like, how this game controls after almost a goddamn half hour.
Seriously.
You can tell this was that period of time in video games when they were like, what? We can't just have people get dropped into gameplay within the first minute. We need to ease them in. Story.
Again, I made a comment about this feeling a lot like a Persona game. Didn't realize that also included playing it for 3.5 hours before you actually get to control your character properly.
Yeah. So here we go. It is ultimately like with the left stick, you do actually like move and strafe around, but you can see it's also like very, jerky naturally. D-pad can change different cameras.
That side to side movement is it's quite a thing.
Yeah, but that's besides the fact that the white and black buttons are also for like dedicated like side steps that are more like evades,
Mm.
But the idea is, like, what you really want to be doing is holding forward, because then you go into the sprint and you steer with the left stick. And your reticule, like, is not anchored directly to the center, so you're, like, kind of aiming around as such. Left and right weapons are handled with the triggers.
You can really tell this was an early Xbox game. Just repeated textures, flat terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like the early launch title equivalent of the Unreal Engine test ground.
Yeah. Also, we have optic camo.
Yeah, that's a big thing in this game, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. That's just like the general way of like controlling it. Oh yeah, and also like Y and B are for like back-mounted like weapons on the left and right side. But that's just kind of get like reacquainted with it and like kind of show that at least on the surface, you can look at the controls, especially how the analog sticks are used, and it doesn't immediately strike you as like not standard.
Yeah,
but
really
it is
pushing
obviously
the boat out.
Yeah, but it has its quirks, you know? It's meant to be used in a specific way. You're not really supposed to be using this to do, like, bunny hopping, circle strafing like it's Quake. Even though I mentioned that as, like, as the sort of, like, comparison point, just because this is, like, an arena deathmatch sport. Get in, get your kills, get out.
Yeah, it's kind of like Outrigger on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
In that it feels like you know, any of the myriad of third and first person shooters that were out at the time, but very much a Japanese interpretation of them, where it's like just similar enough that it feels familiar, but also just weird enough that it feels, you know, like something's not quite right.
Yeah. Man, Outrigger is fucking awesome. Especially after I finally got that Dreamcast keyboard and mouse to play it.
Yeah.
Like that is a fun time.
Some of us played it on the original Dreamcast pain pad, my friend.
I mean, I did too when we went through that grab bag. So it's like, whatever.
No,
I did my time.
Some of us played all the way through it.
But yeah, it's also pretty extreme as well because you got big ass ramps that you can just skate up and launch out off the top of. It's pretty good. Yeah, so like you have like the different gates on like the edge of the arena, which you can like choose to spawn in from like first thing, and everyone will like spawn in from. So naturally, that means there's some amount of like spawn camping you could get up to if you want.
Yeah.
That got a bit heated, so naturally it's good to like pop camo and like run away, come out from like another corner.
Probably just because you're starting off and this is like a literal beginner's baby mech, but the weapons feel incredibly inaccurate.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's definitely like pea shooter sort of material.
Yeah, it feels very slapdash for this first fight.
Yeah,
but I'm assuming that's just because you've got basic baby weapons.
Yeah. Indeed, Haseo, these are very wiggly mecha.
Look at them wiggly boys.
Oh, but that's also the other thing that like forgot to like mention, which I should have actually done before trying to like kill that last one, is that what you're actually supposed to do is that you have to like get your kills, like which correlates to like whatever amount of points you can get, and then from there, you know, before your Scooby is completely totaled, you got to go back to one of the gates to exit the map.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, so it's like, but that's also the sort of thing that like makes it interesting as well, because yeah, like with the map design and everyone spawning in, you know, it does make it just seem like, yeah, it would be if your mecha gets totaled, so what? You'll just respawn. But here at least it adds an interesting level of tension to it.
It's like a weird cross between like Quake and Front Mission.
A little, yeah.
If your mech gets destroyed, then you need to pay for repairs to get it back up and running again.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, at least we still got like some money out of it. Like just because like we like our thing got totaled didn't mean that we had to like pay too much just to get things repaired.
I think you still walked away with like 100,000 or so.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to at least get back to rumbling as well, or we could like check out like some of the modules.
Also,
the dog
yes,
was a shop clerk.
Pupper.
Yes.
Pupper of Wired.
He's a good boy. He's the best shop owner you'll get here in the ruins of old Tokyo.
I will give you 10 tummy rubs for this big railgun.
Xena, warrior dog. Yes, exactly. Dumb as an ox, but decent is the opinion of him. All the ellipses shows that he's a very pensive dog, just thinking about his words.
Are we playing Final Fantasy VIII Mecha Edition?
Something like that. Stop projecting, dog. I don't know. It's the sort of thing where it's just like, I look at it as like, the part that like makes like these sort of like AI chips endearing is how it's like, they aren't just so flat and like dry sort of like computer assistance to these individual characters. They have like a back and forth with their owners, some of which is like backhanded. This is the fun. This is kind of like the fun part about that. So we could at least get some new weapons if we want.
So modules is just basically parts in general, then.
Yeah, like body, arm, back. There's optional parts, which obviously reminds me of like they're kind of like stab modifiers in the same way that optional parts in Armored Core traditionally worked.
Because when you say module, I think, okay, that's like enhancement chips or whatever, rather than here's your part shop.
Yeah. And of course, you can buy like color schemes and decals to kind of throw on there. But I think we definitely need to get us like a new weapon of sorts.
I think you need to pack a chainsaw. Skins the Masters Raw.
Unfortunately, we don't have enough for that, so, or enough for this, proton arm weapon. Yeah, whatever. Let's just get something that's like... Yeah, why not? We'll just go with like a... We can't go wrong with a little bit of DACA, you know?
Yeah. More bullets is never a bad thing.
It'll be a good stopgap until we can absolutely get something like a fucking chainsaw arm. That'd be sick.
You know that when this launched back in the day, there was like a whole build around chainsaws and drills.
Yeah. And of course, that'd be back then where it was like the association of like drills and robots still would have been get a robo first thing. Instead of people just going straight to Gurren Lagann like it invented it.
Yeah.
Alright, so... Yeah, these were literally what we had to start. So like these like anti-SV rifles, like semi-auto, like not even full automatic to them. So we're just going to... Wait, why can't it let me... Something I missed.
It looks like it might be for a different class of mech.
Fuck.
Because it's I don't know if it's because it's got like the manufacturer logo next to it is different.
If so, then I feel dumb.
It said this is for a blah 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 type of mech.
Right, yeah. Well, fuck, I guess we're sticking with this. Or something. I mean, like... Or we could...
No, you couldn't.
Nah. Well, I was thinking
not
at least,
at that price you can't.
Whatever, we'll just, like, keep buying, like, additional parts. Like, maybe if it has to do with, like, the body itself, then maybe. Dogs, do you refund? No, it's like, you can give me all the tummy rubs you want. All transactions are final. Okay,
I'm a good boy,
it's like I have
but
to...
I ain't that good.
Yeah, it's like, like, for that one, I basically would have to assemble, like, a completely new...
Yeah.
Which I guess is... well, it is what it is. I'll, like, double-check, like, the legs.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, like, roller legs or, like, chicken legs. Quad legs. Oh my god, look at that roller type.
Okay, that
6
is
wheels.
That is right out of something like Zoids. Or
yeah.
What was the robot? So what was the robot one with the robot dinosaurs?
Oh,
Robotrix.
Robotrix. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, that is like 1-to-1 from that series. Those wheels.
All right. You know, I think that's at least fine to start for now, maybe, or at least I can see about buying like another minigun since I have enough. Like, perhaps that'll be enough to like assemble an entirely new Scooby without needing to have to go to like any of these manufacturers to pick it up, like just fresh. Because we got different hanger slots, like so.
Too many guns, you're not going to be able to hit shit.
No back parts yet, but that's fine. What we do need right now are the legs. Oh yeah, no, and like that chip is currently, like the previous chip that we got is currently in the other unit.
Maybe
so that'll
is there
almost
like
be there.
Is there like a dumpster we can fish one out of?
No, I'll do the more crude option, which is we're just going to transplant the chip over to this one. There we go.
This is getting more and more Invader Zim by the second.
I have no idea what you're talking about. This is perfectly normal.
It's advanced.
There we go. Now we got like the crappiest, spindly-looking Tachikoma we've ever had.
I really hope with the quad leg ones, their movement is just sort of like a really embarrassed shuffle.
Yeah.
Just
Scooby
picturing
snacks for the AI dog. Yeah, that'll be what we do to like convince them to give us better deals. Here's another doggo. These
were all pets of the design staff, weren't they? They just
I
brought
hope
them
they
into
were.
Work one day.
Kudravka. I assume I pronounced that correctly and I didn't butcher it.
Kudravka.
Alright. That's also another thing, like, after, like, the next kind of round of rumbling that we do, one thing I'm definitely going to start buying is stuff to customize our chip. Because as it is currently, like, it has, like, the most basic kind of baseline AI for it possible, like no personality, and there's not even like an animal that we've associated with it yet. But once we buy some stuff to like modify and upgrade it, then we can definitely start turning it into the proper animal AI companion that we deserve. Like this is the fun part.
Unfortunately, we wind up with Grumpy Cat.
Well, you make do with what you got.
Hey, so we need to go get into this fight so we can get now.
Now. Gonna look at different schedules, different classes of like rumbling, which is like
it's a bit Monster Rancher that.
Yeah. And here's the thing as well, like we're obviously like right now we're rank D, which means that like going into places like Shinjuku East or Tokyo Aqua 409, like those are class D, free of entry, but there are like higher class arenas that we could go to, except we are not at that rank yet, and even if we were, we'd still have to pay a fee because like these are like the more prestigious arenas as they were. We got to keep slumming up in the usual places. Could even like rent a Scooby if like we were still lacking one.
That entry fee was like a quarter of your starting money.
Yeah, because they expect you to only get there after like a long time. But even then, it's like, of all the times I spent playing this game, you know, it's weird. It's definitely one of those games where like the fun I have with playing it doesn't even come from trying to like get to the end of whatever story it has, you know? The fun is just kind of like getting immersed in the sort of routine of playing this like it's a sport.
Also, that is one hell of a walking animation. I do not know what it is, but wow.
Yeah, I approve. It's quirky.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and also, here's like the other thing, I guess, because of some stuff that we didn't equip, like optional parts or whatever. We do not have any cloaking, so,
I was gonna say,
yeah, we're very vulnerable, actually. But hey, we're shredding them now.
Yeah, you're actually doing some decent damage to them.
go.
Because before it was hit or miss, literally, as to whether or not they would do any damage. But these guys, it's like 2-3 seconds and they're done.
Yeah, the power of machine guns. They're always good to fall back on. Oh yeah, and even when enemies spawn in, they do have like that energy shield that shows up just so they have like some protection from spawn campers.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, if that was an ability or if it was just mercy invulnerability.
Like Hasio just like got like the perfect description for like this walk animation, Hamelgate. Which, following for that, isn't a coincidence that a Sandland game was also announced this week. Huh.
Coincidence or something more sinister?
A lot of things did get announced this week.
Only one I was particularly interested in was the second Final Fantasy VII game.
Yeah, I've definitely been seeing people, like, real excited for that. I also saw you, like, sharing with me that fucking, Shadows of the Dam remastered.
Yeah, top of the list for, well, who saw that fucking coming?
It only took, I think 3 years after I made the observation when we did that LP that they had delisted it from, like being able to buy it on the Xbox storefront. And that was, like, they're clearly preparing for this, right?
Like, when Lollipop Chainsaw got the remake announcement, we were both like, okay, surprising, but James Gunn, big name in Hollywood right now.
And he still cares about that game after all these years.
So, surprising, but you can still be like, there's a good reason as to why they would do that.
Yeah.
No one really looks at Shadows of the Dams particularly fondly. Even when we did it, we were like, this is a decent game, but it needs a lot of work.
The people that look at it real fondly are the exact people that have not touched it since it came out in 2011.
Yeah.
Which is like what that remaster is ultimately going to be for, which is like, I'm glad they're going to have the opportunity to finally realize the truth about what that game is.
Oh yeah, if they... Like, it's a game that doesn't just need a remaster, it needs heavy-duty work behind the scenes. Like...
Yeah.
Or
better yet, just sell it again to people so you can use that money to fund the real game everyone wants, Damn Dark Knight.
For the 6 of us who actually played Travis Strikes Back.
We could also watch the replay of the match we just went through. So that's fun. Look at that fucking, like, shield helicarrier, like, just floating above this goddamn place. You kind of see it just, like, out of, like, the corner of the screen on occasion. But that's also where it's, like, they occasionally drop things like ammo refills and things like that.
Yeah. The level of technology is kind of weird, because on the one hand, yes, you know, any kind of mech is far and away beyond what we have available to us today. But these ones are obviously, like... battle bots, basically. Kind of junky, kind of rusty. And then, as you say, you've got anti-grav technology in the skies above us that drops health packs on us.
Yeah. And it's in 2031, naturally.
Yeah. Technology level is all over the fucking place.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some money. Not like an insane amount or anything. But that's ultimately kind of like how it goes. Like, we check out places around like around the location, make modifications to our Scooby, go rumbling, and then like after like we go through a whole day of rumbling, it proceeds to the next day.
Yeah, imagine this is a game that requires a lot of grinding in order to get better parts and actually progress in the ranks.
Yeah, but at the same time though, it's like, again, with this particular game, it's like it never feels like it's in a hurry to try and get you to experience what kind of story it has going on underneath. It very much just kind of wants to present like this world and this like particular interpretation and use of Mecha to like just kind of get you pulled into it and just kind of living out like the routine of it all, you know? Like, it's mundane, but like not mundane in a way where it's like, oh, it's so awful to play. It's just more, it's like, yeah, this is the thing you do.
Yeah, it's not so much a trudge as it is more of a general amble.
Yeah.
Because I've played a lot of games like this. Carnage Heart in the PS1 was really bad for that. Once you actually did the 3-week training course in order to understand how to play the damn thing, getting new parts for your mech just felt like such a slog.
Yeah.
And the original custom robo was really bad for that as well.
A little. I mean, like, well, I don't know. I take it you're actually, when you say original custom robo, to clarify, I take it you're referring to like that GameCube game.
Yeah, the original Western release, I should say. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because I'd played like a cool guy and I had showed off like the first N64 version.
Yeah.
Like on stream, and I even like did like a playthrough of that original game in my off time, and it's like that one at least like keeps moving forward. It still has like the sort of thing where it has that mundanity of like, yeah, this is the hot new activity that all the kids are into, and you're going through like a couple weeks of playing it, and eventually a plot shows up. Eventually.
Yeah.
but you're still into it
Mega
because
Man
it
EXE.
Battle Network.
Yeah, you get all the silly stuff that you're doing, and then, oh wait, we're just going to have to stop a nuclear power plant from blowing up in the middle of the city. Things have elevated.
And in the case of like custom robo, at least for like the first N64 game, I think it was a case of trying to use the technology to make like completely autonomous custom robos to take over the world.
Yeah,
like the organization was very Team Rocket as fuck.
Yeah, borderline Metabots, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, Team Rocket had goals. The Rubber Robo Gang, they were just perverts.
Yeah, just... Oh, man, you also just reminded me of, like, listing all these different, like, mecha games, or, like, games that, like, have, where, like, their intended audiences for, like, young kids just, like, remind me that, like, I always run into people that bring up, hey, remember Gotcha Force?
No.
I don't. I've not played it. I probably should. I got it loaded onto like my GameCube anyway, since I like modded it to kind of run games off an SD card. So at least that's something. I just haven't gotten around to it.
I think I have one of the 3DS games on my 3DS. Never
like
touched it.
The 3DS Metabots?
No, Gotcha Force.
Wait, it got a sequel? I thought it only. I thought it was just the GameCube game and that was it.
I might be confusing it with something else.
Because I know there was like a Metabots game, I think it was, that was on 3DS, and they decided to like make it more. I don't know if horny's the right word, but they definitely tried to like make the Metabots themselves just be all more like girl-like. I guess, I don't know.
See, I remember there being a lot of very weird fan art, shall we say, of Neutronurse and Peppercat, which were the only two confirmed robots in the series, and I was like,
say no more.
This is weird.
Yeah. What's up, Arian? Came in time for like
worst time to come into the conversation.
I mean, for the conversation, yeah, I guess that's debatable, but obviously you're gonna be seeing like that this is quite a weird oddity of a mecha game that is still quite interesting, and it comes from a developer that just, you know, you would not normally associate with this type of genre, you know? These two clearly get along. That was sarcastic.
So is this just the jukebox, or
it's literally a music
get
shop.
added as you?
Yeah. An MP3 exclusive web label.
Wow, the 2031 really is the future.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got an email from Bandcamp.
Looks weird from the get-go, though, so you got me intrigued, definitely. So, like, here it is. This is what I was talking about. Like, one of, like, the fictional artists in this game, Mona Lisa. The latest hologram cyber idol.
Cyber Tupac is spinning in his hard drive.
And the gorillas are sharing that hard drive grave with him. Yeah, and it's the sort of thing where it's like, I at least know that this is a thing because, like, I think of one of my previous playthroughs, I got far enough to see it, and that it was a thing in this game. But as you would imagine, with Mona Lisa being as popular as she is, there is literally, like, a gang of, like, mecha pilots in this game that are all just her fanboys.
Of course there is.
And they're also kind of tough.
Yeah.
like that, like, they're not even, like, joining together as a force, but being, like, a huge joke to fight against or anything like that. Because, like, they're, like, kind of a little bit of a ways into it. Let's check out the Aqua line. Or wait, oh, no, never mind. That got, area rank. Yeah, I can't go in there because, like, that's, like, a completely different rank entirely. Wholly restricted. Do they have light sticks? No, they don't have any of, like, the glow sticks attached to their Scoobis, although that would be, like, a really great touch.
But the entire back of the cockpit is covered in badges. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're just going to get back into it. Just pick any gate. We're, like, literally low tier. What does it matter?
We're literally just here to try and get dinner money.
Like, this sort of personality is just so good. This is what I love about this game. Yeah, it's the Mona Lisa fans fighting to finance their gachikoi lifestyle. God damn it, lunch. This entire conversation's, like, takes just a weird vibe with with this music.
Lunch is missing a few gears in her engine, isn't she?
Yeah. Shame on you for leaving the car door open with the keys inside. Somebody could have stolen it. Like you. Yeah.
Remember, all theft is legal as long as you say yoink when you're picking it up.
You can absolutely tell the type of, like, anime archetype lunch is supposed to be.
Oh yeah, this is like so many different early 2000s anime that I watched.
Yeah, we did, like, point that out to, like, at the start area, and, like, the shading, like, cell shading that the characters have is very much of the same vein that, like, Killer 7 and, like, Suda's, like, early 3D games had going for them.
Yeah, the harsh shadows in particular is
stuff that, like, accentuates the fact that it's technically, like, a low poly model, so you can actually kind of see the divisions as far as, like the difference in light on, like, a per polygon basis.
Yeah, which weirdly is making a big comeback in indie gaming.
Yeah. Now, if only we could get more of that was, like, more in line with, like, kind of replicating actual for real, like, PS2 look or even original Xbox look. Try and, like, emulate, like, those sort of programmable shaders they had.
Yeah, well, we're just seeing the PS1 renaissance right now, so PS2 is probably going to be at least another 7 or 8 years.
Yeah. Not quite Jet Set Radio hard shading, but, I mean, like, it is of the era, so that makes enough sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, these dudes tonight are quite a bit tougher than normal. It is a nighttime match, after all.
Yeah. I imagine the optical camo on this map would be, you know, if you were doing it PvP, would be a real pain in the ass.
Yeah. I mean, it's already like a pain enough for us just because like we haven't bought like the part or like upgrades to actually enable the optic camo on this model, assuming it even exists for this one, considering how junky it looks.
I will say though, like, they've been quite smart with the maps in that you don't have to worry about draw distance when everything's blocked in.
Yeah. Especially because, like, and even then there's also, like, later levels where it's, like, there's kind of, like, a subterranean level to them. Like, you're kind of, like, running through what clearly would have been, like, parts of, like, an underground subway station and things like that. It definitely, like, nails the vibe that you are in a, like, a busted-up version of Tokyo, like, post-earthquake.
Yeah, it feels like this is in, like, a reclamation zone almost.
Yeah.
Like, all this is just where they're going to be tearing down the buildings and rebuilding them.
Okay, just another.
So is there a time limit to these stages, or a kill limit, or is it just keep killing until you get bored?
Yeah. Just keep killing until like you've had enough, and also, ideally, you know, if you don't get your Scooby like totaled as well. There is like the timer at the top, but that's more like that's counting up specifically because like that's gonna...
Yeah.
Oh no, there's one of them. There's one of the Mona Lisa fans. They're always in purple. And even that portrait looks exactly like the sort of typical otaku that would like that would be the kind of fanboy.
Literally all he's missing is a bandana, and he would be as stereotypical as it gets.
Yeah, stereotypical otaku idol fan. Alright. I do like, at least even with like this particular style of the aiming, you know, with like the sort of like giant reticule being not anchored to the center, it at least does have like that sort of soft lock on kind of aspect to it, because there's like that center diamond that does like lock on to whatever is inside the circle.
Yeah, the auto aim detection is really generous in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's, which is something where it's like, especially for this type of like era of you know, like games where there is like precision shooting involved and you're not playing on a PC, definitely would be nice to kind of have something that was more in line with like this type of auto aim rather than the type that was like so popularized by Halo, where it's just like a complete camera lock.
Yeah.
We were about to run out of ammo anyway, and I think we had kind of expended all like these sort of item drops from like the shield helicarrier overhead.
Yeah, are they limited or is it time-based? Because it looked like for the last couple of minutes there you weren't receiving any.
Yeah, I think it is very much kind of limited to like the start area, because like they have to kind of give you like some incentive to like to want to consider to leave the arena. So some of them are robots or AIs. No, the robots are all piloted by humans. It's just that they are accompanied by little AI chips. You know, like they're the sort of thing that helps supplement their piloting ability.
They have like AI buddies, partners.
Yeah.
Tamagotchi, however you want to put it.
And there are all kinds of animals at the same time. You know, like some of them. Oh yeah, we could also just buy like we could actually just buy some.
We're fairly certain a good chunk of these may actually be pets owned by the development staff, or at least that's what we're hoping.
Or everyone just had like National Geographic like books, or like just some other like reference material to like stock images of animals, and we're like, this is good.
Clip art of a rabbit, which I think the left ear on that rabbit has actually been cut off, like it's a poorly cropped photo.
Oh no! So here's also the other thing, like with that default chip that we had, you know, you saw what the lock-on kind of aim box was like. Whereas here, it's like, yeah, that's kind of normal, but if we get the bird, it is a horizontal lock. So we got like we very much have we very much have like classic Armored Core style aimbox design, where it's like their shapes
I was just thinking that myself. Yeah,
they're very much designed to like support like different like play styles, as it were.
Yeah, like this one, the vertical one's better for missiles. Wide one's better for rifles and other associated kind of beam weapons.
Well, that shit was fucking annoying.
Told you we'd be back.
Yeah. Just... Oh, fuck. I don't even remember what I was specifically trying to look for. Oh, wait. Oh, lightweight optic camouflage generator.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that we need. Oh, but also multi-purpose. 1,000 or 45,000. Yeah, we'll buy that. Let's also get like some color schemes on this one. Have it look have our Scooby look a little nicer. Gonna put some shark teeth on that if we want.
Do you want to buy some used vinyl stickers for your machine?
Yeah. We also got stickers for Panama and Algeria and Colombia.
Bit random.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's not Colombia. It's Columbia.
Yeah.
Just one random set of quote marks. Can't help it.
Something
Imagine
like
Dr. Evil doing it.
Now let's actually try something a bit different, like something absolutely absurd. Let's get like a 6-wheel setup going.
Do some sweet ass jumps off a ramp.
I mean, with it being actual legs, it'll probably help for like gaining top speed as well. You know, as long as we keep holding forward and steering all over the place.
Yeah, I would imagine that it would be good for acceleration, possibly turning, if nothing else.
Yeah. So let's, no, don't want the Smance, I want the chip. And we can put, like, the original starting chip back in its starting Scooby if we want. But let's see, legs.
Also, if that's tonnage, then that chip is like 250 pounds in weight.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right at all.
That seems very, very, very wrong.
Yeah. Look at those shark teeth.
Oh, man.
Okay, and the sticker is applied. I'm trying to see where the,
On top? I think it's on top.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I see a bit of, like, the red from that as well.
Yeah. You can kind of see it in some angles.
There we go. And now we got an optical camouflage module assigned to us. We can see our specs. We didn't name this one, but whatever. As far as like the Scooby or SV. I guess SV makes it sound more dignified. Scooby is just more like, I guess it's the slang term that all these kids use. But yeah, I think we're good to go for another day of rumbling. It should be a good one.
That is the most gangly, awkward-looking mecha I've ever seen in my life.
I know, it's great.
It's like, if you asked me what would Limp Bizkit look like if it was a giant robot, that right there.
Well, guess we'll just keep on rolling.
What?
Never mind.
Ah, come on.
Private Mona.
Oh, God. Once again, a joke that I have made comes back to bite me.
Look, he's got the rolled up posters sticking out of the backpack and everything.
Oh, man. Stop being stereotypical. It's not good for you.
No, in this case, it's good because maybe the people that feel upset by it will learn to actually change their image for the better.
Like, if his mech doesn't come equipped with a giant paper fan, I'm gonna be disappointed. It has like Daiki Makura's body armor.
Oh, no. That's the inside. They're like side impact airbags.
Crash protection. But he doesn't let anyone in because they're all crunchy.
Oh, hey, dude with a little fox mask.
Ah, great. Now the Naruto fans are showing up.
And a cat.
I like time.
Yeah. Cutie goody. Although I haven't the slightest idea what it means.
My cats make that exact same face when I tell them they're good boys. They're like, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah. What's his boy?
I know I'm good, but what does it mean to be good?
Understand the concept of good boy.
It is I, the goodest boy. I am ascending to be one with the goodiest boy multiverse.
Nyarth, that's right. God damn it. Alright. Time to put our six-wheeler to the test.
Okay, just the name combination and the way it pronounces that, too perfect.
Oh, geez, we're really fast now.
Okay, that's like an RC car.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, this definitely looks like a stage from Phantom Dust.
Oh, yeah.
All it needs is the really weird soundtrack.
Yeah, I keep thinking about Phantom Dust and maybe I want to play it, but then I remember that it's like just kind of games with like card-based systems are like not really my thing.
I like the current crop of card-based game design. Stuff like Slay the Spire and Library of Ruina. That kind of card design I really like, but Phantom Dust was... I don't know if it was like Magic the Gathering was a deliberate design choice, but it plays very much like that. And
Okay.
I kind of grew out of that kind of gameplay years ago. It's not really what I look for in those kind of games anymore, you know?
Yeah.
But it's the story in it is amazing. Genuinely, like, I know saying that, you know, you've never seen anything like it before. Saying stuff like that is like a horrible cliche. In this case, it's very much true.
Yeah, I like how this thing feels now that we switched the wheels. Especially because when you let go and then use the right stick to turn, it's basically like a drift.
Yeah.
It's... Because, I mean, obviously it's like... Mecha, especially when looking at it as, you know, it's this, like, long-standing Japanese entertainment genre that, like, it is naturally a broad term. Obviously, it's most commonly associated by, like, the qualifier of, does it have legs?
Yeah.
But sometimes you can have one where it's got wheels, but it's still more
like,
complex than a car.
It's like the thing of what is a chair, you know? And it's like, okay, sometimes a cow can be a chair. It's got 4 legs and you can sit on it. And it's like, yeah, sometimes an RC car with a personality chip can be a mech, which is essentially what you've got there. It looks like a lunar lander.
Yeah. A lunar lander with, like, the raddest, like, paint job ever.
Yeah.
It was clearly done by, like, the pilot's, like, 12-year-old son because he thought it would be fucking rad.
NASA's just like, yeah, we let the janitor paint this one. Says he's into something called rockabilly. We don't quite know what that is, though. Says if he'd given us more time, he would have put someone called Betty Page on there. Don't know what that's all about.
Something like that. All right.
Also, thing that I do like is that it gives you a sound cue whenever you actually hit an enemy. Like,
yeah,
that was something that up until Team Fortress 2 came out wasn't really implemented in games very often. And
That's true, yeah.
any game that has that, I automatically turn it on because you don't realize how much of a useful tool it is until you start using it.
That's the surprising thing I've noticed with like a lot of games these days, especially when it comes to like the subject of like accessibility options, and that even though it's like I think like the intended purpose of some of those accessibility options are for people where they actually have disabilities, I find myself actually using them more often than not because they are just that generally useful from a readability standpoint.
Oh yeah, I usually, like, one of the first things I always do is dick about with the subtitle options.
Yeah.
If only because most games and movies these days, the sound mixing is complete shit.
Oh.
But also because you find a lot of like there's a lot of things that otherwise get, like, especially if it's Japanese language game, a lot of stuff that doesn't get translated, like battle cries and, you know, whenever someone's using a special attack or whatever, that stuff doesn't show up and get translated unless you go looking for it these days.
Yeah, like, because it's always like
which
part
is-
of like a closed captioning sort of like
Yeah.
extra option.
And even still, that is leagues better than it used to be, where that stuff would just go untranslated, and you'd be like, well, I know they probably said something cool, but I'll be fucked if I know what it was.
Yeah.
So Homestuck's older than any of us really thought.
It's more eternal than we wish it was. Yeah, I don't need an entire quartet of recorders, thank you. It's Pachelbel, Pachelbel or whatever. I don't know how to properly pronounce
Ashbel,
it.
I think it is.
Yeah, whatever. Here's Anonymous. Fucking look at it as well. Like all these like Japanese like webpage URLs that are at the bottom.
Yeah, either these bands, like some of these bands, had to have been real.
Something, or at the very least, like someone at Genki was very dedicated to the idea behind them that they had to like register fake like web domains.
Yeah.
Which, if that's the case, I am down for that.
Oh yeah, like going that extra little bit of distance, I always appreciate.
Yeah. Also works as a sound artist for Sony UK Toryumon. Okay, so Sony does still exist in this universe. That's good to know.
And remember when we all thought they were going to get eaten up by Pioneer?
Ah.
Oh, Electric Eel Shock are a real band.
Okay. Yeah. You know, I think I can actually see that, especially since it's just like, that is, as you can tell, not a Japanese URL. That is just a straight.com right fucking there.
Yep. No, I've actually heard some of their stuff. There was so one of the guys in the band works as a DJ every so often as well.
Okay.
And apparently for one of the, like, they're not so much their big debut album, but their big debut outside of Japan, he was hosting a DJ night. And every so often, he would just jump out from behind the decks with pick up a Gibson Flying V guitar and just start jamming along with whatever he was playing, doing like these sick-ass guitar solos.
Nice.
And I was like, this man cannot be real.
So, we can increase our chips level, which is pricey, but what it does is that, like, it also, like, increases the size of the lock-on square in the aiming range. If you ever wanted to know how much it'll take to get to level 99, it's that. We're good.
Nah, you're alright. Maybe once you start getting some missile launchers, whatever, that might be a bit more useful.
Yeah. We can also, like, tune, like, the body parts, like, all, like, the physical modules as far as, like, their... things like their weight, for instance.
It's like the lighter it is, it also gives you more ammunition. Doesn't really seem to affect the damage that much, which is good.
Yeah, But obviously, you know, like, being able to tune these things isn't cheap. It does cost money, regardless of, like, which direction you go in. It's kind of like, yeah, that's always kind of weird to me, though, because when I think of, like, tuning in games like these, it is very much like, it's usually something that, like, you have the option to kind of change and respec it for free. This is kind of more the idea that, like, no, if you're gonna tune something, it's gonna cost something up front. And then if you want to tune it to something else to correct, it costs money again.
Seems like it's one of those things that, with the benefit of hindsight, is kind of a big oversight. But at the time, they were like, well, you know, no one's done this before, so maybe we're doing it right.
Something like that. We're gonna get a heavy cannon because I've been kind of neglecting to do anything with, like, the back-mounted weapons. So let's get that mixed in. Unless it... Oh, wait, no, but that was for stock. My mistake. I needed to go to the hangar. Okay, there we go. Assemble. Back. Now I'll put it on... Well, yeah, I guess I'll put it on right because, like, my thumb's just going to be closer to the B button anyway. Unless... Oh, wait, it's not even for, like, the right type of...
Yeah, it's for your other mech.
Well... I might as well give, like, our starting one another go again. Or better yet, actually, if we're going to be doing this... Because I recall there also being, like, another... I think another photon weapon that we could have bought. So, we'll get that. Do another round of rumbling, and I think that will be enough for our demonstration for today.
Yeah,
because this is otherwise going to be, like... This is the core loop that you're seeing that will repeat. And, like, whether you are down for it, both for the gameplay and the vibes, you will get a lot of mileage out of it before you even get another glimpse of what the core plot might be. It's just that you can't really point to... You can't point to other mecha games that exist out there that feel like this, you know?
Yeah, this is another one of those games that if you get into the... Like, the core loop is very simple, but if you get into it, then you can easily lose hundreds of hours of it.
Yeah. Like this and Slay as well. And obviously, it's like, I think whether you like this more or Slay ultimately does kind of come down to, like, which aesthetic presentation are you more a fan of? I definitely like this sort of, like, this whole underground, like, punk, like, Japanese, like, punk vibe it's got going on. Like, these kids that are just on the fringes, the outskirts of society, like, engaging in like, this kind of activity that is wholly their own.
Oh, absolutely. Like, this is a kind of story that starts off with just, like, a bunch of kids, you know, screwing around with their mechs, and then before you know it, it's like, and now we need to stop an evil corporation that has a laser satellite aimed at Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
And you're like, how did we get here again?
Okay, so I think we're a bit overweight, but I think that gives us at least enough justification for this round to do some tuning. So...
A mecha industry all supported by indie kids. What do you think the vinyl industry is?
Yeah. Unfortunately, trying to adjust this is too much. So I think, you know what, I'm going to... we're going to have to make some choices as far as, like, which of the back weapons we're going to bring with us, because we can't bring both.
Yeah.
I think, actually, the...
Was it you've got a mortar launcher and a rocket launcher?
Heavy cannon and single-fire, like, missile.
I would stick with the missile launcher, because you haven't shown those off.
Yeah, I was actually starting to kind of think the same thing. All right. Day 6. Time to rumble. All right. Oh, and that's good. West Valley 2 is open. Unfortunately, Tokyo Aqua is currently occupied by like the Class A people, so we're gonna have to still stick to D over here. This is what I was talking about. Where like this is one of those levels where it gets more verticality compared to the others because we actually go underground.
Also, Star Beast was the original name of the script that Alien was turned into.
That's right. Yeah.
I sincerely doubt it has any relevance to this, but it's just an interesting little...
Tokyo Aqua seems to be entrance to that tunnel under Tokyo Bay. Wouldn't surprise me, I guess.
God knows it shows up often enough in anime. If you look closely, you can see the bones of like 7 or 8 bloated protagonists. It just didn't quite make it.
Yeah, Shinku just is still completely smitten with like this one person. Can't even give a love letter to him personally. That is way too specific, my girl.
he's like, weird. I don't know if love is a crime, but you definitely need to get be locked up somewhere.
Especially because I think the person she's in love with is technically an adult, and I don't even think she's 18 yet.
I would be amazed if she was 16.
Yeah. Alright. Let's get ready for this. So we're above ground to start. Not too special. People are already on the ground, though. So let's... There we go. So yeah, the square right there, that's like our missile lock-on, so just press the button once it is solidified.
Looks like a guided missile as opposed to a homing one.
Yeah, something like that. Alright. Yeah, this is like one of those levels where like it shows just how much more complex that like the rumbling maps can get compared to the others. Because like the first Shinjuku map, simple enough. Tokyo Aqua, you know, very long but still flat. This meanwhile is like, yeah, we got all these abandoned, dilapidated like subway tunnels and things like that. And at least because of how confusing this map can be, there are like the colored arrows along the outside of like our aim window that points us in the direction of like where there are enemies.
Yeah.
Saw right through your camo.
It's that awkward moment when you bump into a camouflaged enemy and neither of you really knows what to do.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, there's someone else there.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely saw like the shimmering. But I think they went up the ramp. Oh!
No, they didn't.
There they...
Oh, that guy is tanky.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yep. This is what I was worried about. Ow. Ah, damn. Crasher. Yeah, that's... the thing that this game's definitely missing, though, I gotta say, is, like, they need, like, really, like, creative, like, kill meshes. Like, you know how you would play, like, something like old, like, Doom or Quake Deathmatch, where it's, like, player fragged, you know, so-and-so, but, like, the...
Rode the ASMD to hell.
Yeah, and suck my dick! Well, yeah. But that's kind of how it is. We got a lot of repairs as a result of this that we got to do, which unfortunately means that like it invalidated our prize money that we would have earned from this.
Yeah. Actually down like 1,000.
Yeah, it's whatever. That right there is Phantom Crash. Hell of a weird thing. It's always fun to see, like, you know, like developers, especially from around this time, getting in on making different types of mecha games, even when it's like not the main thing that like their their studio is known for. Because again, like this is Genki, like their main bread and butter had been like Tokyo Drift style racing games with like Shutoku Battle and the like.
Yeah, this was around about the point when they started really getting weird and experimental with their releases.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing their name attached to all sorts of weird games and just being like, okay, well, presumably that's what they do. And then, you know, yeah, like a few years later, going on Wikipedia to try and find the name of a game, seeing it was by them, and then realizing that pretty much everything else they had done was fairly middle of the road.
Yeah, and like if it was localized, it was more often than not like under a completely different name. So it's like you would that would like confuse like the association even further.
I think quite a few of their games wound up getting different. Like the few that were released in Europe wound up getting different names over here as well, just to add further to the confusion.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but like I definitely dig the style that this goes for. I think I even appreciate it a bit more now, is just with like the sort of momentum and the different leg types, because of how like I had recently gone through Steambot Chronicles, and that's again that also has very different leg types that have like significant influence on like your terrain traversal and things like that. It controls way differently though, you know, because it's like Virtualon or Katamari's type controls with the analog sticks. This meanwhile is like more deceptive as far as just being like, yeah, you could see, like, you could introduce this game to someone, they could like go into like the free play tutorial of the game and get a feel for how it moves, and they would be like, they wouldn't be so thrown off by it mapping basic inputs to buttons or sticks that make no sense. But you do realize quickly, it's like, okay, the trying to do like strafe runs is a bit janky and not nearly as fast, obviously. And then there's the matter that your aim window isn't like fixed directly to center, but it's far from being like something that would be like impossible for someone to come to grips with.
Yeah, a lot of the things that you might say are janky or maybe not particularly user friendly, a lot of that is just part and parcel of the fact that this is a game from the early 2000s, and a lot of those tropes and systems hadn't really been codified at that point.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that this Japanese game in 2002 caught on to the idea that, hey, you know, left stick should move and right stick should aim. You know, so soon after Halo made like such a big fucking deal about it at the end of 2001.
I remember Alien Resurrection, which I think came out in like 98, 99-ish.
Yeah, the game in which GameSpot's reviewer at the time mentioned its controls were the most terrifying parts.
Yeah, its controls were the worst thing that ever played, rather than, you know, industry standard in a mere 4 years. Funny how things change like that.
Oh, hindsight, it's a funny thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But thanks a ton for being on for this one, even though we had a bit of a delay getting the stream back online because of technical shenanigans.
Always a pleasure, and at this point, not entirely unexpected.
Yeah. But that's
7 out of 10. It got a 4.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Even outside the controls, I wouldn't say that there was a lot good about that Alien Resurrection game
not
overall.
A good game, no.
Most of all being the fact that it had to be based on Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, not Joss Whedon's most stellar work. Although if you look at it, it winds up being like a dark prototype of the original Firefly.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the characters are almost one-to-one with characters in Alien Resurrection, which is really fucking weird.
Yeah, do they have a basketball scene?
Yes, they do.
Does someone toss the ball behind them and it lands in the hoop just like Sigourney Weaver?
I don't remember. I don't think that happens, but yes, there is a basketball scene in the cargo hold. It's really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, you could clearly tell what Whedon wanted to make versus what that series really needed.
Basically, yeah.
Oh well. So that was it for Phantom Crash. It won't be the last time we look at a mecha game on the original Xbox. In fact, there will be 2 more. You can probably guess what those are now, especially since I completely ruled out the idea of ever playing the MechAssault games. Because it's like... I mean, whatever. It's like, I'm not even a huge BattleTech fan overall. Like, I'm not that deep into it. But, like, I'm aware that even if you're looking at it, that it is supposed to be, like, a console arcadey reinterpretation of piloting a battle mech, I didn't even think it was, like, doing anything that extremely interesting with, like, its kind of control setup or even allowing much for customization. So that's whatever. That could be, like, someone's other kind of thing to cover if they really are so inclined. Next week, though, briefly back to the PS2 to cover, like, a game that can be described only as rad. No, really, it's rad. It's Robot Alchemic Drive.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah. Neff's going to be back for that. She was available for that, and that's going to be a fun one to... That game's always such a delight to show to people, like, whether they're, like, familiar with it on a passing level or just, like, have no idea what it's about.
Honestly, it is such a weird game. I've never been able to get to grips with it. I have tried. I've never really been at it, like, played it and been like, okay, I am comfortable with what I am doing here.
I mean, I've been comfortable with, like, pretty much all the Sandlot style remote control robot games that they've ever done. My brain is just weird enough that, like, yeah, this makes sense. Alternate the shoulder buttons to walk, why not?
It really is a style of game, I feel I should say. Mm-hmm. That either it clicks with you immediately or you just do not get, and I've never gotten it.
All I can say is I wish we got more stuff like that and less stuff that was designed entirely as, like, a dumb joke, like QWOP.
Yeah. That's well, as I said when we did Remote Control Dandy, it's QWOP played for real. Yeah,
it's QWOP, but an actual game with design.
Yeah. Game first, joke second.
Yeah. The joke of that being, that one girl you work with realizes that you're the son of one of the wealthiest families and just wants to become a trophy wife for you. And it's really concerning.
And she's like, oh, time to repad the basement. Can I fetch you a cup of coffee with extra roofies in it? We're barely joking. That game was terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, man. And the worst part is that even though he's a rich kid, which means it's like, you know, he didn't have to earn his wealth. He's a bastard because of that. He kind of is sort of sympathetic because everyone else around him is clearly using him just because of that. It's like, you have all this money. You're part of this important company. Here's this giant robot that you have to control for us to protect the Earth. Do it.
How do we make the bad guy look like a good guy? I know, we'll make everyone around him worse.
Yeah. He's just like, I don't want to be doing this. Can I just go back to Paris, please?
I just want to sit in a cafe and drink coffee while reading my pretentious book. I just picked up Infinite Jest yesterday.
What a game. All right. Look forward to the next year, the Mecha on Saturday. Probably also gonna, like, get back to doing solo streams sometime during the next week as well. They could going, like, real old PC games. I've been in a System Shock mood, so I'm like, man, their remake's great, but you know what's also really great? Fucking love System Shock. Well, no, not 2. That might come later. I don't know. I'm almost tempted to just wait and hold off until Night Dive finishes that enhanced edition they're working on, because that sounds like that'll be a nice thing.
I really hope they do a remake of System Shock 2. Just add some extra bits and pieces, leave the rest of the game untouched, make the graphics more nightmarish. Mwah. Perfect. 10 out of 10.
Unfortunately, I can't join you on that road. I mean, especially because, again, like, they're doing that enhanced edition. It'll be nice to have a version of System Shock that just has all the essential mods and fan patches already on there, instead of having to get them individually. But also, like, the real thing that we all should be asking for is, like, give fucking Night Dive System Shock 3, damn it.
the thing that surprised me most about System Shock Remake, and the thing that I was just so very pleased about, was they got Terry Brosius back to play Shodan.
Yeah.
Like
the game that was always known
ever
since the Kickstarter.
Oh, absolutely, but you still kind of expect some kind of shenanigans and being like, oh no, we replaced her with an AI or something.
Well, yeah, but no, it's like they understood there would be riots outside of like wherever the fuck, I forget where Night Dive's headquarters is, but whatever. There would be people with like torches and pitchforks, ready to storm the place if they didn't have her back for that.
Yeah, it'd be like doing another Portal game without Ellen McLean as GLaDOS.
Yeah.
Like, it just cannot be done.
Yeah. It's an integral part of the game. It's one of the things that just makes it so great. All right. Time to head out. Thanks again, everyone. You have a good rest of your weekend.
Later's out.
Game over.